The 1953 Jefferson nickel, a modest 5-cent coin by face value, holds an extraordinary place in the world of rare numismatics. With a staggering market value reaching as high as $130,000 in top-condition specimens, this coin is no longer just pocket change. It is a hidden treasure sought after by collectors around the world. Minted during a period of post-war economic transition in the United States, the 1953 Jefferson nickel carries historical weight and numismatic appeal that elevates it beyond its humble denomination. At first glance, it appears to be a standard issue coin, featuring the iconic bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello estate on the reverse. However, what sets this coin apart and gives it such tremendous value are its scarcity in high grades, select varieties, minting, anomalies, and growing collector demand. As more collectors search for pristine examples from the 1950s, coins like the 1953 Jefferson nickel have become increasingly difficult to find, particularly in mint state, MS 66, or higher grades certified by top organizations such as PCGS and NGC. The result? Auction prices climbing into six figures and continued buzz in the numismatic community. To appreciate the value of the 1953 Jefferson nickel, one must first understand its historical and minting context. 1953 was a transitional year for U.S. coinage. The country was still recovering from the economic aftershocks of World War II and the Korean War. The Jefferson nickel, introduced in 1938 and designed by Felix Schlag, had already become a staple of everyday currency by the early 50s. Yet, despite high mintage numbers, tens of millions across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, coins from this period, especially from the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, are rarely found in perfect condition. The minting process of the early 1950s was not as refined as it is today. Dies were used until they were worn, resulting in soft or blurry strikes. Planche quality varied, and storage conditions over the decades have left many 1953 nickels tarnished, scratched, or heavily circulated. This makes the discovery of a flawless or nearly flawless 1953 Jefferson nickel a significant event in the numismatic world, worthy of top-dollar valuations. Another key factor contributing to the high market value of the 1953 Jefferson nickel is its metal composition. Struck in a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, the coin has maintained its silvery appearance for decades. Unlike the war nickels from 1942 to 1945, which included silver due to wartime metal needs, the 1953 issue returned to the standard copper-nickel composition. While this may not add precious metal value, it does ensure durability and longevity, making high-grade examples more desirable for collectors aiming to preserve U.S. mint history. In particular, 1953 nickels with full steps on the reverse, referring to the clearly defined steps of the Monticello building, are extremely rare. Coins with sharp strikes and full-step designations have been known to fetch exponentially higher prices at auctions, sometimes accounting for most of the $130,000 valuations seen in pristine examples. Collectors often focus on varieties and errors that occurred during production, and the 1953 Jefferson nickel does not disappoint in this regard. Some examples display repunched mint marks, RPM, die cracks, or doubled dies, errors that occurred when the coin dies were manufactured or used improperly. These imperfections, while unintentional, make the coin more appealing and valuable to collectors who specialize in U.S. mint anomalies. A 1953 nickel with a strong RPM or a visible doubled die, combined with a high mint state grade and full-step clarity, can easily become the centerpiece of a world-class coin collection. Such a coin, certified by PCGS or NGC, can demand prices ranging from tens of thousands to the six-figure mark, especially when sold through prestigious auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. The demand for the 1953 Jefferson nickel is also driven by the broader resurgence of interest in mid-20th century American coins. As collectors seek to complete full-date and full mint-mark sets of Jefferson nickels, the 1953 issue presents a major challenge due to its relative rarity in mint state. The increasing visibility of numismatic channels, YouTube coin reviews, and collector forums has further fueled public interest in this specific date. Many newcomers to coin collecting start by completing Jefferson sets, and the 1953 nickel quickly stands out as a key coin for the decade. especially in grades of MS-65 and above with the coveted full-step designation. Because of this, demand has begun to outpace supply, especially for top-grade specimens, resulting in explosive price growth over the past several years. Beyond collector circles, the 1953 Jefferson nickel is also gaining attention from investors. In a world where traditional assets like stocks and real estate can be volatile, many investors are turning to physical collectibles like rare coins for portfolio diversification. Coins with documented auction histories, strong collector demand, historical significance, and third-party certification tend to perform well over time, especially when they are scarce in top condition. The 1953 nickel checks all those boxes. A certified example with full steps, high eye appeal, and no damage or toning inconsistencies is not just a piece of American history, it is an appreciating asset with potential to grow in value as the numismatic market expands. From a design perspective, the Jefferson nickel continues to be one of the most elegant yet simple coin designs in circulation. The portrait of Jefferson facing left shows the statesman's solemn dignity, while the Monticello building on the reverse honors his architectural achievements and love for Enlightenment ideals. Though this design remained mostly unchanged for decades, coins like the 1953 issue mark a point in history where craftsmanship, national pride, and utility intersected beautifully. Holding such a coin in your hand is like holding a piece of 1950s America, a country on the brink of technological revolutions, societal change, and post-war prosperity. In conclusion, the 1953 Jefferson nickel is much more than a 5-cent coin. Its high market value of up to $130,000 in mint condition reflects its rarity, beauty, and significance in U.S. numismatic history. From its classic design and full-step designation challenges to its growing appeal among collectors and investors, this coin encapsulates everything that makes rare coin collecting both exciting and rewarding. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the 1953 Jefferson nickel is a coin that deserves attention, respect, and perhaps a proud spot in your collection. With each passing year, as high-grade examples become scarcer and demand continues to rise, this nickel is destined to become even more iconic, and possibly even more valuable. Next up, the 1942 no-mintmark wheat penny is one of those extraordinary coins that has captivated the attention of numismatists, collectors, and investors around the world. While it may look like an ordinary Lincoln wheat cent at first glance, the value and historical significance attached to this coin make it a true hidden gem in American coinage. With a current market value of up to $190,000 in pristine, uncirculated condition, this copper-based coin, struck during the turbulent years of World War II, has become one of the most sought-after wheat pennies ever produced, minted in Philadelphia, hence the absence of a mint mark. The 1942 wheat penny belongs to a generation of coins that circulated heavily during wartime America, a period defined by economic strain, patriotism, and large-scale metal conservation for the war effort. Although millions were produced that year, very few examples exist today in flawless condition. Most 1942 wheat cents were heavily circulated, scratched, or worn down, making gem-quality pieces an extreme rarity. When found in perfect mint state 67 red or higher with brilliant luster and sharp details, the coin's value skyrockets into the six-figure range, especially when certified by top grading services like PCGS or NGC. This seemingly simple penny was part of a larger effort to keep America's economy functioning during a time when the government was reallocating vast resources to support the war. Copper, the primary component of the 1942 wheat penny, was soon to be redirected for ammunition and other military equipment, leading to the production of steel pennies the following year, in 1943. Because of this shift, the 1942 copper penny stands as a pivotal marker in numismatic history, representing the final year before the experimental steel cent era began. Collectors often view the 1942 penny as the last classic copper wheat penny before major wartime changes impacted coinage. That alone makes it a historic piece. However, it's the combination of historical significance, rarity in gem condition, and collector enthusiasm that pushes the price so high today. The design of the 1942 wheat penny remains a timeless tribute to American ideals. On the obverse, the coin features the iconic right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a design introduced in 1909 to commemorate his 100th birthday. This design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and has remained one of the most beloved in American numismatic history. Below Lincoln's portrait is the year 1942, and because it was minted in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark present. The motto, "In God We Trust," arches above Lincoln's head, and "Liberty" appears to his left. On the reverse, two stylized wheat ears flank the words 1 cent and United States of America, giving the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Above these inscriptions is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, a reminder of the nation's unity during its time of struggle. Collectors often gravitate toward coins that feature unique characteristics, and the 1942 no-mint-mark wheat penny offers plenty of intriguing details. While circulated versions are relatively easy to find, high-grade uncirculated specimens are exceptionally rare. That's because most pennies in 1942 were used daily for basic goods during wartime rationing. The few that were carefully saved and kept in perfect condition, avoiding the wear and tear of circulation, are now highly prized. Even rarer are examples that possess a red designation, referring to the bright, original coppery red luster that remains intact after decades. These red-grade coins, when found in MS-67 or higher, are extremely scarce and often command auction prices near or even exceeding $190,000, especially when the coin also features full, crisp detail with no blemishes, carbon spots, or discoloration. Adding to its appeal is the potential for valuable minting errors. Some 1942 wheat pennies have been found with minor or major errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. These error coins, especially when combined with high mint state grades, become rare collector items, pushing their value even higher. For example, a 1942 penny with a strong double die obverse and MS-67 red certification could easily reach 6 figures at auction, depending on the severity of the doubling and eye appeal. Additionally, because of the transition period leading into the 1943 steel penny, there are rumors and investigations into copper planchets from 1942 mistakenly being used in 1943, making 1942 the final full production year for copper wheat cents, a further boost to its collectible mystique. Over the years, the 1942 no-mint-mark wheat penny has gained a kind of legendary status among coin collectors. Its historical context, rarity in top condition, and strong visual appeal have ensured its place in elite coin collections across the world. Investors, too, are beginning to recognize the potential of vintage coins like this one. As physical, tangible assets, rare coins offer a safe haven in uncertain economic times. Coins with a strong historical narrative and certified grades from respected institutions tend to hold or even grow in value, especially as more collectors enter the market. The 1942 wheat penny represents a piece of American heritage, and owning a $190,000 specimen is not just about financial value. It's about owning a slice of history. Furthermore, demand for high-grade wheat pennies has grown in recent years thanks to numismatic education efforts, social media exposure, and YouTube channels dedicated to rare coin discovery. Videos showing valuable wheat pennies being found in old jars or family collections continue to inspire new collectors. Stories of coins, like the 1942 no-mint-mark penny being worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, help drive awareness and excitement in the hobby. As collectors build Lincoln cent collections spanning from 1909 to 1958, the wheat penny era, the 1942 issue becomes a cornerstone in that journey, especially in top-graded condition. To summarize, the 1942 no-mint-mark wheat penny is far more than a simple copper coin. It symbolizes American endurance during wartime. It bridges two eras in coinage history, and it embodies the traits collectors and investors look for: rarity, beauty, and story. With a top market value of $190,000, this penny is now a numismatic superstar, despite its tiny size. Whether you're holding one in your hand or dreaming of finding one in a roll of old pennies, the 1942 wheat penny proves that even the smallest coin can hold immense value. As interest in rare U.S. coins continues to rise, so too does the potential value of this wartime gem. Collectors around the globe will keep searching, grading, and bidding for a chance to own this historic and financially powerful penny. Next up, the 1970 quarter dollar might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but within the world of numismatics, it is considered one of the most captivating rarities. This coin, particularly the 1970s Washington quarter, has shocked collectors and experts alike due to its unintentional mint error and extraordinary market value, which has reached up to $150,000 in rare cases. The key factor that has driven this coin's value so high is a minting error involving a proof strike on a 1941 Canadian quarter. This unique anomaly resulted in a U.S. quarter bearing the typical Washington design, yet struck on a foreign coin, creating a stunning overlap of designs that are visible under magnification. Only a small number of these error coins were ever found, making them among the most elusive and desired pieces in modern American coinage. This 1970s error quarter was never meant to circulate, and it is believed that these coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint under unusual conditions, possibly as test strikes or unauthorized experiments, adding to their mythic status. Beyond this specific error, the 1970 quarter series in general holds value depending on its condition, mint, mark, and strike type. While millions of regular 1970 quarters were produced for circulation by the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the San Francisco Mint struck a limited number of proof quarters, some of which ended up being struck on the wrong planchets, like the aforementioned Canadian coin. The 1970s proof quarters, when preserved in pristine condition with deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces, can fetch high prices on the market, even without errors. Coins graded PR69D Cam, Proof 69 Deep Cameo, or higher by PCGS or NGC can easily sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, but it is the ultra-rare error specimens that command 5- and 6-figure prices. Collectors are drawn to such coins not only for their monetary value, but for the fascinating stories they tell about the U.S. Mint's history and occasional imperfections in the minting process. In the world of rare coins, provenance, condition, and grading are everything. A 1970 quarter in average circulated condition may only be worth its face value, but a rare mint error or proof coin in museum-quality condition becomes exponentially more valuable. The coin's grade, assigned by certified coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, plays a major role in determining its market value. The most valuable 1970s quarters are those that have been authenticated and encapsulated by these companies, confirming both the error and the grade. In some documented cases, collectors have discovered these rare quarters in proof sets bought decades ago for just a few dollars, highlighting the importance of revisiting old collections with a careful eye. Moreover, the historical context of the 1970s adds another layer of intrigue to these coins. The U.S. was amid the Vietnam War, cultural revolutions, and technological changes. This tumultuous decade saw many transitions, even at the U.S. Mint. Coin production processes were evolving, and in some instances, planchets from other countries made their way into the production line, leading to these spectacular minting blunders. It's this perfect storm of error, rarity, and historical uniqueness that catapulted the 1970s quarter into the spotlight, drawing the attention of top collectors and auction houses worldwide. It serves as a reminder that even small coins can carry monumental value when the conditions align perfectly. Adding to the coin's appeal is its design, which features the familiar bust of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to honor the first president's 200th birthday. The reverse features the American bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and preparedness. Though the design was standard, what made the 1970 quarter extraordinary was the unseen factor, the surface underneath, that of a 1941 Canadian quarter. This accident of minting produced overlapping images, faint remnants of the Queen's profile, or Canadian date visible beneath the American design, especially under high-powered magnification. Collectors today continue to search old proof sets and coin collections in hopes of finding a 1970s quarter struck on the wrong planchet. Even circulated examples can be worth more than face value if they show signs of unusual metal composition, incorrect weight, or doubling in the inscriptions or images. Some 1970 quarters also display die varieties, such as double die obverses, which can add to their value when confirmed by professional grading services. Coins showing full strike details, sharp rims, and well-centered images command premiums, particularly when they are free from wear, scratches, or discoloration. Over the past few years, the value of error coins and key date quarters like the 1970s has steadily increased as more collectors have entered the hobby. especially during the digital age where coin auctions and marketplaces like eBay and heritage auctions allow coins to reach a global audience. In 2016, a verified 1970s quarter struck on a Canadian coin was listed for $35,000. But later examples have been reported to have reached $150,000, especially in perfect condition and accompanied by clear certification. This surge in value has turned the 1970s quarter into a legend among coin collectors, often featured in top 10 lists of most valuable Washington quarters ever sold. For numismatic enthusiasts and casual coin hunters alike, the story of the 1970 quarter serves as an inspiration. It proves that something seemingly ordinary can hold extraordinary value and historical importance. It's also a reminder of the importance of coin authentication and grading. Without professional analysis, a valuable treasure might be mistaken for pocket change. As the popularity of coin collecting continues to rise, fueled by online communities, YouTube channels, and auction platforms, rare coins like the 1970s quarter will only gain more attention and admiration. In conclusion, the 1970 quarter dollar, particularly the rare 1970s error struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter, is a modern treasure in the world of numismatics. Its combination of minting error, limited mintage, immaculate proof condition, and historical significance has driven its market value to as high as $150,000. For collectors, it's a symbol of the thrill of the hunt and the richness of American coin history. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a beginner examining your coin jar, the 1970 quarter reminds us that incredible stories and fortunes can be found in the smallest and most unexpected places.